Hello again. It's pretty late. I just wrapped up a series of videos on the Meta Micromanagement playlist, um, discussing the letters of the alphabet according to the Vimala Rogers Transforming Your Life Through Handwriting kit. And I hope that you have checked those out. And I wanted to just add a little footnote, which I hope that I think that this will be. That's the intention of this video. It's pretty late. I'm stuttering over words and not using the proper ones, but I'm going to make it through. Um, I wanted to take this time to share with you um, an explanation about the techniques of using handwriting, thought form, therapy, and bringing things to completion. Um, of these three, I haven't quite touched on the completion process. What I'm going to recommend for you to do is look up or go through my channels list and look up Nityananda and type in completion. Nityananda um, completion process. The completion process is a Vedic, and I'm sorry, an ayurvedic healing tool for emotions and bringing a settlement in your consciousness and creating what they call inner space. And what is inner space? Inner space is is a term used to describe uh, a sense of lightness, a sense of freedom, a sense of space where you can rejuvenate or incorporate a higher ideal of what you would like to see occur in your life or occur within yourself. You may understand this as being seeding or manifesting. But either way, in order for in order for a good seed to grow within anyone, there must be space. So the completion process is a process where you address concerns that you've you've had to suppress throughout the day. Number one, to be professional and logical, and number two, to protect yourself, of course. So, in the comfort of your own home or in the comfort in some relative amount of privacy, the completion process includes you being able to talk to yourself or to talk to another about your day. What we have now, either life coaches or your pastor, whatever the case is, but because everyone has a busy life, when you come home from work or however your day ends, it could be late at night. You know, who wants to hear the burden of your day that can be very heavy with emotion? So, being able to help yourself in this way will make you a better friend to yourself and a better person to all of those who depend on you in your microenvironment. And in turn, they should be encouraged to do the completion process on their own as well. But there is an advantage to doing, completion work. But the convenience of doing it yourself is just that. It's goodness, it's immeasurable. You can't imagine the power you have within yourself until you've actually gone through your own completion process by yourself. So please um, look up the completion process and definitely um, look it up. Nityananda Guru, or I forget, or Swamiji. That's another name he goes by. Nityananda Swamiji or Swamiji. And that would be SWAM Swami. SWAMIJI Swamiji. And check that out. But in a nutshell, the completion process requires you to talk to yourself, and you're constantly talking about how you feel. You're not thinking about you're not just thinking about the process of what happened throughout the day. You are connecting to those feelings that you felt earlier in the day, because it is through those feelings that feelings um, develop into trigger points, trauma within the body. No matter how light or how deep it is, every single trauma that has happened to the body comes from feeling. So, and likewise as it is with health, every healthy body, every healthy part of you comes from those feelings that you are capable of obtaining as joy. So that's what I want to explain. And with the completion process, you will go over these feelings and that same situation repeatedly, up to 5 times, at least 5 times. Nityananda recommends that you do it. And now, with the completion process, you can incorporate thought field therapy, and that is the tapping. And you can do 5 rotations of this, what at least 5. And the goal is to get your thoughts and to get your feelings in sync, that so that whenever you think about that situation, or someone else brings up that situation that has made you upset, it is no longer a trigger. It is no longer an embedded code for your internal body to respond and say, "Oh, I can't stand it." you know, as close to zero as you can get. That is optimum. Now, using the alphabet, the Vimala Rogers alphabet, and just being able to use your handwriting, writing out your feelings, doing a diary process, that can count as another completion form, another completion rotation. So here it is, you're talking out loud to yourself, you're doing the tapping to yourself, and you can do it in front of a mirror as well. You're doing the tapping. You've got at least 3 techniques, and I'm about to add a fourth. So you can write with your dominant hand, but for me, when sometimes, because I know so many metaphysical tools, sometimes it's hard for me to find that right one. But I will say, sometimes when I do it with my less dominant hand, and for me that's my left hand, and that wasn't always the case, but that's another story. I'm not going to get into those mommy dearest stories this late at night. But when you write with your less dominant hand, in print or in script, what you're doing is your less dominant hand is more in tune to those raw feelings, because it is the less dominant hand. It is less developed than your dominant hand. So it's going to take you right there to those feelings. And the effort that it takes to write those letters, to express yourself, you are releasing and drawing right into that pen, right into that paper. And that is effective as well. So you may want to write your feelings down twice or 5 times if you want, but go through the the process of describing what happened, how you felt, and keep talking about how you felt. Talk about how you felt, the way the person was looking at you. Talk about how the situation is making you feel now. Keep it on that feeling pulse, because after a while, you're gonna get to the point of where you're saying, I'm feeling, and then the feeling gets lighter. The feeling is transforming into a different type of energy, a different type of feeling energy, which is what it needs to happen. It needs to occur. So I hope that these tips are helpful. When you are doing completion work, you are creating an inner space for a new seed to be implanted, which is what you want to occur, because you need space to feed your willpower. It is, and this is another thing that I've learned from Nityananda videos, you need to create space for your willpower, honey. And it is your willpower that makes you like God. Yes, there is marriage, and yes, there is the ability to bring a child into the world. But when you use your willpower for your will, and no one has talked you out of using your will, no one has controlled your willpower but you, that is gold, and that keeps you connected to God. And that's what I believe. You know, you are then that God force when you are in alignment, when you take those actions according to your will, when you take the time to empower your will. And that doesn't mean that you bully other people and force them out of their will. But, if they're able to be forced out of their will, then guess what? They've surrendered their willpower. So it gets very philosophical. I don't want to go in that direction this late, but I just wanted to give you some information to go on, to be encouraged, to respect the ability to have willpower. And that is an intangible gift that people can't really see. I mean, they can see it through your actions, right? But even that's not definite. No one knows you have willpower to a great magnitude other than you. And then it becomes evident by the things that you build for yourself. So this is a lesson that I've learned in my 40s, as I am now in my 40s. And I just want to pass that along. So when you're doing completion work and you're trying to take your life in another direction, understand the completion work is valuable. It's giving you that inner space. I'm not going to say don't go to a psychologist or a life coach. Only you can determine if that's the suitable path for you. But now you can't see a life coach every day. I don't think that you balling like that. Very few of us are. So you're going to have to, in some type of way, be this independent and caring of yourself. Thank you for your time, and I hope that this has made sense to you.